Hey, hello everybody, how are you going? Welcome to MMW Day with your girl Reg. I'm joining you from Perth, and like I will always say, life is good, God is good, and situations are awesome. When we go through situations and challenges in life, guess what? They make you unbeatable, unbreakable, and man, you are undefeatable. This is the African story. So wherever you're joining me from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day. I'm sure you're joining me, so you are welcome. I'm going to KISS, keep it simple and stupid, and we will be out of here in time. So today I'm talking about why do you stay? Why stay? Okay, this topic is about a video that my friend sent to me last week. Last week my girlfriend and I was talking, and she's in India, and she sent me this video. And this video is pretty much about toxic situations and why women stay in toxic situations, and that women need to break away from such situations, and that women deserve better. And she wanted me to incorporate that video with MMW. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I was just throw a line in there. So this is me throwing a line in. However, I'm talking about both female and a male, because I believe that both parties do go through a relationship where there is toxicity. The only reason why we focus more on women is because women are the ones who are experiencing this more, and they are the ones who are speaking up more about these things. A man will go through it, but they will rather push it under the carpet and keep going. And also, in an underdeveloped country, you'll find that women do go through a relationship where there is so much toxicity, but they can't break away from, because of the situation or the environment surrounding them. So the topic for this recording is called Why Stay? Why did you stay in that toxic relationship? Why are you continuing to stay in that toxic relationship? And why stay? It takes a lot for someone to leave a toxic relationship, okay? However, for someone to leave a toxic relationship, there has to be self-discovery. You must come to a point where you discover yourself and who you are as an individual, and the things that make you as a person. And that self-discovery involve who you are, what are the things that are important to you, and what are the things that you hold most valuable to you, that you will not compromise regardless of the situation. So when you come to that point where you discover yourself and who you are, it will give you the courage to break free from that toxic relationship or from that person. You see, people normally will stay in a toxic relationship or move in and out of a toxic relationship for one of the following reasons. Number one, seeking validation from the wrong person. Number two, hoping that their suffering in that relationship will soften that person's heart, enabling them to change. Number three, trusting that their unconditional love and perseverance in that relationship will cause the other person to value them more. Number four, believing that they are the only person who can love that person, help them better, or help them heal, and without them, that person's life will be ruined. Number five, the environment. When you find yourself in an environment where the environment is so culture is very important, traditional norms are very important. In an environment such as, not every part of Africa, but some parts of Africa, in an Indian environment, in an Indian culture, or in a Napoleon culture, for example, in a culture where people are so traditional and hold their traditional culture is very important to them. And in such places or in such environments, it's very hard for a woman to break free from a toxic relationship, because they are afraid of the stigma that will be associated with them once they break away from that relationship, once they break away from that divorce. So they will rather go through that relationship, put themselves through that much pressure, than to deal with the society for judging them, for pointing fingers at them, or for thinking that they are no good only because they decided to walk away from a toxic person or from a toxic relationship. And number six, total dependency. When you are in a situation where you are totally dependent on the person for your sole needs, for your support and for your needs, you'll find out that you can't break away from that relationship, because you feel like if you break away from that relationship, who is going to support you? Who is going to meet your needs? Who is going to meet the needs of your family or the needs of your children? And many times you will find this situation in an underdeveloped country where men have the upper hand than women. And because of that, a woman will tolerate being in that toxic relationship rather than walking away. Let me share a personal story with you. Just like yourself, I've been in a toxic relationship for many years. Nobody's immune to life situation. Nobody is immune to, what this life brings. I'm not perfect, and neither do you. I've been in a toxic relationship for so many years. You see, I love this person out of sympathy, and I believe that I was the only stable thing in that person's life. And because I love them out of sympathy, number one. Number two, believing that I was the only stability in that person's life, because of those beliefs, I would not break away from that relationship. And I was so determined to see that relationship progress at the detriment of my own self. And because of that, I went through so many toxicity, a lot of toxicity, not occasionally, every day, that it almost broke me. And God saw that I was not willing to break away from that relationship or that person. And God also saw that this person was not willing to be good for me. So you know what happened? If you're a child of God, and if you're someone who pray, God will intervene when you refuse to leave, or when you refuse to do things. He will force you to do them. And in my case, God had to break me to save me. Okay, He had to break me to save me from that situation. And the way that happened, God allowed the environment to be so uncomfortable for me. God allowed things to become so messy and so shameful that I had to remove myself from that situation. And God allowed those things so that He can save me from myself. And that's the only way I was allowed to, that's the only way I break away from that relationship, because I was broken to the extent that, I had to remove myself, and God had to remove me from it to save me from a situation that I allowed. What did that relationship take from me? What did that relationship took from me? Number one, it took away my confidence. It made me doubt myself and my self-worth and my capacities. Number two, it made me uncomfortable. It stole my confidence and my ability to function to my best and to function well. And how many of you know that you are as good as your confidence? Okay, you are as good as your confidence, because if you are not confident, you can't do anything with yourself, because the moment you put your foot out of the door, the first thing that will come knocking is doubt. So you have to be confident enough, to see yourself. And number three, it distorted my life and my vision, and it created a lot of enemies for me, because I was misrepresented and misunderstood. And the person I was with, because they were so toxic, and the relationship was so toxic, that they were unable to see the truth. And because of that, I had a lot of enemies. I was misrepresented and I was misunderstood. Therefore, for you to be able to remove yourself from a toxic relationship, your confidence must first be restored. Your confidence must first of all be restored, because you are as good as your confidence. And also, the reason why a lot of people are in a toxic relationship, if I may say, or the reason why they stay in such relationship, is because their confidence has been twisted and manipulated, allowing them to second guess yourself. Because when your confidence is twisted and manipulated, you second guess yourself and who you are, your capacity, and what you can do. And because of this very reason, you remain grounded in that relationship, believing that's the best you can do, and also believing that you are as good as where you currently are. And that's not true. So how do you handle a toxic relationship or a toxic person? First of all, the person who is doing the toxicity must first be sincere and have a sincere conviction that they are toxic and they are unhealthy to be around, therefore they need help. Number two, after admitting that, they also have to commit to helping themselves and working on themselves. Number three, if they haven't come to that sincere conviction, or they haven't seek help, then you have to remove yourself from that relationship, because it is no benefit to you whatsoever. And then you ask me, am I the one who is making them toxic? Am I the reason why they're acting toxic? It depends on your answer. Are you toxic yourself? Do you have an element of toxicity inside you that is triggering the other person to be toxic towards you? If you do, then yes, you might be a contributing factor to why they're toxic. If your answer is no, then no, they are toxic just as they are. You see, for somebody to influence your decision, you must first of all have some level of doubt or some level of toxicity for you to respond to their toxicity. But if you have all the healthy ingredients, if you are fortified enough, if you are healthy enough, if your morals are strong enough, if your values are strong enough, if your heart is healthy enough, then no, someone's toxic behavior will not influence you to be toxic yourself. The reason why I said this, I was once involved in a toxic relationship, like I say. It came a point where, I was starting to respond to that person's level of toxicity. But I had to take a step back and rediscover myself and my values. What is more important to me? What are my values? What are my morals? What is my character? What are the things that are so important to me that I will not compromise? When I came to that self-discovery, then I switched my focus, I switched my logic and my thinking and my analysis. So therefore, I was not able, or I was not allowing myself to respond to the toxicity, because I have discovered who I am and what is important to me and what my morals and my values are. So you have to be fortified enough. You have to be healthy enough to resist someone's toxicity. But if you have some level of toxicness in you, then you will reply and you will respond to their toxicity, and you will be, or they will influence you to be toxic, or you will influence them to be toxic. So how do you break away from a toxic relationship or a toxic person? First, discover who you are. Come to a place of self-discovery of who you are. 2, ask yourself some sincere, uncomfortable questions that you have not asked yourself before. Questions that will challenge your thinking and your morals. Question like, what is this relationship taking from me? Or what is this person taking from me? Are they taking away, or have they taken away your self-respect, your confidence, your peace, your comfort? Have they taken those away? Have they taken away your morals or your values and things that are important to you? Have they manipulated you or such? Ask yourself such questions. Also ask yourself, what has this person given to me, or what has this relationship given to me? Has this relationship given you depression? Has it given you a sorrowful spirit? Has it allowed you to doubt yourself? Has it allowed you, to second guess your worth? Has it allowed you to not function? If you have yes to the majority questions you're asking yourself, that's your green light, and you have to find the courage to leave that relationship or that person. And last but not the least, you also have to understand that if you are valuable to that person, they will make the necessary adjustments to accommodate you, just like you have made the adjustment to accommodate them. You see, what is important to you, you will protect. What is important to you, you will guide. If someone is toxic, but they know that you are important to them, they don't want to lose you, they will make necessary adjustment. They will want to work on themselves. They will seek help. They will come to a place where they, make adjustments, even if it is uncomfortable for them, to accommodate you, because you are important to them. I don't know who this video is for, but I encourage you to share, with someone who needs to hear this, that they need to find the courage to move away from such relationship. And many often I also hear people say this, that the reason why I'm in this relationship is because of my children. No, that's a lie. The reason why you are still in that toxic relationship is that you have not told yourself the uncomfortable truth that you need to hear. And you have not asked yourself the uncomfortable questions that you need to ask yourself. Because if you do, you will know that that environment is not healthy for you, neither is it healthy for your kids. Have a lovely week.